Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. WWE General Manager Adam Pearce might have his eyes set on a former 5-time Intercontinental Champion. Pearce might bring this superstar out of retirement and get him to face Nick Aldis, SmackDown's GM, at Survivor Series War Games on November 30. The superstar in question is Wade Barrett, one of WWE's most popular heels of yesteryear. Barrett made his debut as the leader of the heel faction, the Nexus, in 2010. He stayed in the company for the next 6 years before finally departing after a series of poor bookings, injuries, and no clear direction. Barrett stepped back from in-ring competition after leaving the company. He later returned to WWE as a color commentator in NXT. In 2022, he moved to the main roster, joining Michael Cole on SmackDown. The rumors of Barrett's in-ring return have been in the air for some time. The former Nexus leader himself has spoken on the prospect now. In an interview with PW Mania, Barrett said that even though he is content with his role as a commentator in WWE, there might be a tiny chance of him returning in wrestling gear. Adam Pearce is not on good terms with SmackDown GM Nick Aldis these days. There have been significant tensions between the two WWE executives over the superstars from their respective brands. At Crown Jewel, SmackDown's Randy Orton hit Pearce with an RKO out of nowhere. A few days back, SmackDown superstars Solo Sikoa and his Bloodline members had come to Raw and cost Jey Uso his Intercontinental Championship. Pearce called up Nick Aldis last week on Raw, asking him to control his roster. After Orton's attack on Pearce at Crown Jewel, the Raw GM is also expected to show up on SmackDown this week. And if he gets into a confrontation with Nick Aldis, then Pearce certainly can think about getting Wade Barrett in and pitting him against Aldis. The 44-year-old former WWE superstar also praised Triple H's creative control in the company compared to Vince McMahon. He said that it's the unpredictability of things he likes in the company today under Hunter's watch. Barrett noted that when he was an active wrestler and Vince McMahon was in charge, there was stagnation at the top of the card, and he could easily predict how the matches would flow or how it was going to end. He stated that today, he could not predict if undisputed WWE Champion Cody Rhodes was going to make it to the top of the match card or if he would be left off. Barrett said that today, he just cannot predict if a superstar like Roman Reigns would make it to a PLE event or if someone like CM Punk is making an in-ring return. He further mentioned that it is this part of the company that keeps him excited today, as it keeps the audience guessing and is not formulaic. In the ever-evolving world of professional wrestling, few names carry as much weight and respect as Nick Aldis. As a former NWA World Heavyweight Champion and a leader of the global independent wrestling movement, Aldis has carved out his own legacy, becoming a force to be reckoned with. But what if there was a major catalyst for his next monumental chapter? A clash at Survivor Series with a WWE Hall of Famer. Pearce, who has long been a behind-the-scenes power player in WWE, has recently taken a more visible role as the on-screen authority figure for the brand. As an experienced wrestler, promoter, and now WWE official, Pearce has the unique blend of savvy and authority to bring about one of the most shocking and buzzworthy angles in recent memory. The whispers of Pearce attempting to convince a top WWE legend to come out of retirement to face Nick Aldis at Survivor Series could send shockwaves through the wrestling world. It's a bold idea that not only taps into the rich history of WWE, but could also create a crossover event unlike any other in the promotion's storied history. But how would this scenario unfold? Let's explore some creative angles and possibilities for how Adam Pearce could draw a top WWE star out of retirement for this explosive showdown. First, let's consider who the ideal WWE star would be to face Aldis in this high-profile contest. It needs to be someone whose legacy transcends time, someone whose name resonates with fans across generations. This star must not only have the star power to make the match a marquee attraction, but also be able to match Aldis' ring acumen and charisma. Who better than the one and only John Cena? Cena, a multiple-time WWE champion, and perhaps the biggest crossover star in WWE history, has already flirted with semi-retirement in recent years due to his commitments in Hollywood. However, the prospect of facing Nick Aldis, who has drawn comparisons to Cena in terms of his stature as a world-class champion, would be the ultimate challenge. Cena's love for the business, combined with the opportunity to battle a world-class competitor like Aldis, could be just the hook needed to get Cena to lace up the boots for one more match. Adam Pearce, as the decision-maker, could be the catalyst for this storyline. As a man who has been in the business for decades, Pearce knows the importance of legacy. He could be the one to reach out to Cena, appealing to his sense of pride and competitive spirit. Pearce could sell Cena on the idea of giving the fans one last monumental showdown. Two of the best of their respective generations squaring off for the first time ever at Survivor Series. To make this storyline even more compelling, Adam Pearce's motivations could be framed as a deeply personal one. Pearce is a man who has always prided himself on the business of professional wrestling, a man who respects its history and its future. As the architect of this high-stakes match, Pearce would see Aldis as the future of the business. However, he would recognize that some legacies need to be safeguarded, and what better way to do that than to have a top-tier WWE legend return to prove that the old guard can still go toe-to-toe with the new blood? Pearce could approach Cena, invoking the idea of legacy, reminding Cena of his status as the face of WWE for over a decade. "You've built this company, John, but the next generation is knocking on the door. Nick Aldis is one of the finest competitors in the world today, and his stock is rising. If you don't come back to face him, your legacy might fade away quietly. I know you're about family, but what if you could prove to the fans, to the world, that you're still the best?" This emotional appeal would work on a personal level with Cena, who's always been about the big moments, the challenges, and most importantly, doing it for the fans. The idea of facing a competitor like Aldis, someone who has often been compared to him in terms of championship pedigree, could reignite that passion within Cena. The next layer of this story would be the actual build-up to Survivor Series. Nick Aldis, who's currently making waves outside of WWE, would issue a bold challenge that resonates with the WWE Universe. He could cut a fiery promo on Raw or SmackDown, saying, "I've been to the top of the mountain in multiple promotions, and now I want to take the crown from the top company in the world. I don't want just anyone. I want the best WWE has to offer. I want the man who carried this company for a decade, the one who's never backed down from a challenge. John Cena, I'm calling you out." Such a challenge would immediately draw attention from both fans and officials alike, and Pearce, having witnessed Aldis' rise in the industry, would recognize that this match is not just for the business, it's for history. Pearce, ever the chess player, could begin manipulating the situation by setting up a series of mind games between Aldis and Cena. Since Aldis is known for his methodical approach and ability to get inside his opponent's heads, a psychological battle could ensue. Pearce would facilitate moments where Cena's resolve is tested, perhaps putting him in situations where he faces Aldis' allies or underhanded tactics, forcing Cena to wrestle with the decision of whether to come back or stay away. Cena's appearances could be sporadic, creating anticipation for the big moment. He could make surprise returns to Raw or SmackDown, but always in the shadows, avoiding the direct confrontation until it becomes unavoidable. As Survivor Series approaches, fans would be on the edge of their seats, eagerly awaiting the monumental return of one of WWE's greatest champions to battle a new generation star in Aldis. The culmination of this storyline at Survivor Series would be nothing short of a spectacle. The two wrestlers would meet in the middle of the ring, their legacies and pride on the line. It would be a classic clash of eras. Aldis representing the new wave of wrestling, Cena standing as the embodiment of WWE's golden era. The match itself would feature the hard-hitting technical approach of Aldis against Cena's unparalleled resilience and his never-give-up attitude. The crowd would be split, half cheering for the beloved Cena and half for the rising star Aldis, creating an electric atmosphere. Pearce's involvement as the orchestrator of this match would be critical in keeping the stakes high, ensuring that every move matters in this battle for supremacy. In the end, this match could go either way. Cena could retire once again with the satisfaction of having faced the next great champion, or Aldis could cement his place in history by dethroning a legend. Either outcome would leave the WWE Universe buzzing, but the match itself would undoubtedly be a spectacle for the ages. The creative concept of Adam Pearce bringing a top WWE legend out of retirement to face Nick Aldis at Survivor Series is a captivating storyline that blends legacy, competition, and the evolution of wrestling. The match between Cena and Aldis would be a once-in-a-lifetime event, captivating fans both new and old. Pearce, the mastermind behind the entire ordeal, would have successfully orchestrated a clash of titans that transcends eras. In doing so, he would prove that the power of storytelling, the richness of wrestling history, and the spirit of competition are alive and well in WWE.